Oh, we're back
Yo, what's up?
for for a spoiler review. This is SEL 020, Mojo Jojo Joe Johnson. Now there is nothing held back from this. So if you have not seen Transformers: The Age of Extinction, please do not look at this if you do not want to be spoiled, because we're about to go off. Like, Joe got his drink, I got my phone, I got my water. We about to go in. So, Joe, this movie was epic, dude.
It was. It indeed was, man.
So
What's the first topic to talk about?
Galvatron.
Galvatron. Okay. Okay. Alright, so first we're gonna talk about this dude Galvatron, you know what I'm saying? Talk about Galvatron, Sam.
So, okay. Everybody know at the end of the third one that Megatron was dead. Okay?
Right.
He got killed, but like his head was left over. That was the only thing that was left, you know what I'm saying? But his spark was ripped from his body. He was gone. So you're thinking that he's not gonna come back in any way. But if any of y'all looked at any of the cartoon series or any of the books or whatever, you know that eventually Megatron goes into Galvatron, reincarnated essentially. But I was like, they're never gonna be able to kind of mesh that, because they haven't even gone to outer space or anything like that, how it's supposed to be. Like, even Sam Witwicky was Spike, like from the old cartoon series, as an older guy. And so, I mean, I was like, Shia LaBeouf's character not in this. I mean, there's no way they're gonna go there, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing leading me to believe that in the trailers. But Galvatron, this dude was behind all of it. I mean, the fact is that the guy Stanley Tucci's character, that was the major scientist at KSI, he had used the parts of the dead and broken Autobots and Decepticons to try to create actual Transformers. And so as he's trying to create them, he was also trying to build specific ones. And so Galvatron was one of those. So he was actually trying to create it off of Optimus's design, but he was using the memories and all the things from Megatron's brain. And they were trying to figure out, like, why is this thing not looking like Optimus? Why is it looking like more like Megatron? And so to me, I thought that something was off there. But I was like, when they said Galvatron, I knew it was, but I didn't want to spoil Joe. But what did you think of how Galvatron ended up? Not even going so much how it began. I just talked about how
it ended up, man. How this dude transforms, man, was just crazy. You know, I thought the dude was about to transform and start floating off into space and start flying or something like that, because there was no telling. Because, like, he dematerializes.
Yeah.
And then
it looks like it's pixelized almost. Like pixel boxes.
Yeah, like,
that move and shift.
And then, like, reforms into a
whatever.
A Decepticon. Like,
yeah, that's right. They didn't have to mimic. Matter of fact, they didn't have to mimic or scan anything. They could become whatever they wanted to. The Autobots, they have to look at something, scan it, and then they become it. But these things can transform into anything. And even Stanley Tucci's character, he tried to have like an orb of one of them, and anything he wanted it to be, he could create it. And so that's how these things are designed. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think that by the end of this series, by the end of this trilogy, that not Megatron anymore, but Galvatron will have his vengeance, because now you have other players in this game. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Lockdown, his character was just, I don't know, he was an expert. He was an expert at his craft. Like, he had a ship that had not only Autobots, Decepticons, but different creatures from different dimensions. He had legendary Transformers in it. The Dino Transformers were in his ship, but his ship had its own self-defenses. Like, you remember the things they're chasing them?
Yeah.
You want to describe different things in the ship?
Bro, his ship was a flying prison.
Basically.
And he was the warden. Like, they called him Lockdown for a reason. This dude fine, you ain't getting out, bruh. But he had like these little, not even little, but they were like mechanized dogs. You know, like, think of a Transformer dog, but with a little bit of fur, and they look crazy. And when these dudes took off, like when the dogs took off to go hunt down you know what I'm saying, the stowaways in the ship, they took off like bloodhounds. Like they were going in for the kill, man. And they were intense. They were intense to look at, intense to watch, and they were smart, you know. So yeah, it's very lethal. Dude Lockdown was playing no games.
He could fight too.
He could fight like none other. Like he could be the sole special forces of the Transformers. You know? And the dude transforms into a Lambo. You know, like the dude was just nasty, bruh.
Yeah, like every scene that he was in, it was almost like he was still in the scene. It's like, you know how you got Denzel Washington? Then he'll come up on the scene, he's on his walk. He was on his Denzel Washington.
He was on his Denzel, bro.
But the way that we kind of described his character, we described his character like Samuel Jackson's character in Django Unchained.
Yeah.
And why I say that is that he is capturing, killing, burning down to add to his ship anything and everything, meaning his own people. This dude is literally like in Django Unchained with Samuel Jackson's character. He was willing to go and sacrifice all the slaves. And anybody that was crossing the master of the plantation, he was like, oh, no. He literally was, what's it called? Uncle Tom, essentially?
Yeah, pretty much.
Y'all, did y'all see that?
I'm eating some news and company. So
Okay, alright, first of all,
I'm playing. I love
we gotta pause this for a second because he just went into the time machine. I'm still talking. You see me, I still have the same exact thing I got on. Where did you go? Did y'all see him do that?
Transform, bro.
Did y'all see him do that?
I went from Megatron to Galvatron.
So
Like that.
So you went to News and Company.
Yeah.
You didn't invite me. And you changed your clothes.
Yeah, he came too.
You know what?
I'm just real about mine.
You know what? I'll get comfortable too. Anyway, what I'm saying is that when me and Joe were describing it, we were thinking about that Lockdown is kind of like Samuel Jackson's character. And Optimus Prime, he is taken out of his element in this one because he has everything to lose. And I mean, when we first see Optimus, he's all jacked up and broken up. Thankful to Mark Wahlberg's character, Mr. Yeager, for being able to bring him back. But when he's going up against Lockdown for the first time, like he's out of his element. Like he really has nothing that he can really do to stop it. He's like literally just in desperation. That's kind of how Django's character was until the very end when there's like that standoff moment with him and Samuel Jackson's character. And I mean, to me, that's what it really did feel like because Realock did not care about the Decepticons. He didn't care about the Autobots. He was in it to do whatever he had to do to keep whoever he had to keep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you look at Lockdown's character, bro. Like he's just a combat expert. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at Optimus Prime. You know, he's a great combat warrior. You know what I'm saying?
He is a warrior.
He's a straight warrior.
He's a prime.
But it's just like Lockdown is just a combat expert. That's like all he does is fight.
Yeah.
That's literally, and you can tell like this guy's been trained. He's very lethal, very lethal, bro. And it's wild. Who else? You want to talk about the Galvatron?
Galvatron?
Yeah, bro.
No, we already talked about Galvatron.
Have we? Okay. Talked about Gavi.
We can talk about Grimlock. Grimlock he makes his appearance towards the end of the movie.
This dude crazy.
With, believe it or not, the other Dinobot Autobots.
Yes.
And like it was Optimus and some of the other Autobots, and they were fighting like crazy, and they were just trying to survive. They crashed their ship, and he was like, the guy was like, I forgot which one it was. It was one of the green one, whatever the green guy.
Crosshairs.
He had asked, he's like, what can we do? What can we do? And Optimus was like, we're gonna get the reinforcement. He's like, what? What are you talking about? So Optimus goes up in his little cabin or whatever, and then we start noticing that he's going and getting the reinforcements from the ship.
Knights.
And it's the Knights of Old. And so he grabs the sword and it relocks with his body. And I was like, oh, this is a prime joint. And so then he goes out and you notice that all these different Autobots that look different, you know, and they just got this grittiness to them. And the metal just even looks different. It's just a beautiful sight to see. But then you see Grimlock, and he's trying to convince them to help. And he has to fight to prove his worth that he can lead this. And he's like, look, if you ain't gonna do this, you better be up out of here because you about to get killed. It's like either help or die. And I mean, that was the big thing that we had said before. I mean, Grimlock, I mean, his character was just epic, you know. Yeah, but we never did see him like transform and use the weapons that he had. Like it was like literally, I still have it up here. I have Beast Wars somewhere here. Up. Oh snap! If it falls, Joe, duck.
It's a tower of DVDs in glory.
So we got right here, we got Beast Wars Season 2. But I mean, that right there, man, we might end up seeing this, y'all.
We actually might, bro.
By the end of the movie, you'll see. I'm not gonna spoil the very end, but everything is basically, the cards are on the table for what could happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, the way that Megatron was reincarnated and his plans and Galvatron is just like, I don't know. This is gonna be crazy, man.
Because now, you know, well, at the end you'll see what we're talking about. What can't we discuss about the end? What can't we? Can I talk about Optimus?
We can't talk about the outcome of everything.
Okay, so
like anyway, who dies? Which a lot of people die.
Say this: if they do another Transformers movie, well, let me back up. Right now, Optimus just at the end of the movie he went into outer space. Granted, Galvatron is still on Earth. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know exactly what happens with the ship. You know, and the Dinobots, you know, they're free to go, so they run off, you know, and because their battle is done. Mm-hmm. So Galvatron, you know, I'm just thinking about, this is me, you know, my hypotheses. And the resources which he can use now, because at the end of the movie, you know, his army is destroyed. You know, it's just him. So, you know, Megatron in the past, you know, he's always been resourceful in, you know, what he has access to corrupt it and use it for his own benefit. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like, and plus, oh man, I want to talk about his transformation, Galvatron's transformation. So you have him, you know, turn into a truck, and the truck, him turning into a truck was, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, they wanted to make him look more like Optimus Prime, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's not Megatron style nor Galvatron style, you know? Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna do something to where he's gonna transform his form into something that's gonna be crazy. That's just me. That's just me talking.
We haven't seen the limitations of these. We
have not seen,
because these are Transformers that were created by humans.
Yes.
And it's limited the amount of things that they can do. It's like they literally got evolved from with Stanley Tucci's professor's character. And the way that he conceived them, like, it's limitless the amount of things that they can really do or how they form. And so, I mean, I think everything is up in the air, quite honestly. Like, I'm really hyped for what's going to happen next. Trying to think of anything else more we can talk about. I mean, we already reiterated it before, but the way that Mark Wahlberg carried himself from the beginning, he's just a lowly inventor that was trying to prepare a table for his daughter, try to get her to college, and all these kind of financial issues they having, about to lose the house. And then somebody threatens his daughter, threatens to kill her. This dude, he was like, no, you know what I'm saying? And Optimus helped out. But after that point, everything that he did, he rose to the occasion. He came back with a vengeance. I haven't seen Mark Wahlberg like this in a minute. I think since Shooter, to be quite honest with you, because Shooter, I was like, I don't know how y'all gonna stop this man. But in this one, like, he was just a human, but he's going up toe to toe with Transformers. Like, he's got one gun, and he's not scared. He's not backing down at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though there was one scene where he was about to fall off of a building, and he technically did fall, but he was still just fighting it in. I was like, dude, he's some Black Ops joints.
There was a scene where they had to walk across these like ropes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These metal cord like rope type beams. And you know, and then they're followed by like the transformer dog, you know, robot things.
Oh snap! That was.
This was what this guy does. Now he's suspended. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 100 stories in the air, and he lets go of the rope he's holding on to, and then he's standing on just a bushel of ropes, and he's shooting at the robots that are like following them. You know what I mean? I was like, bro, I don't know if I was in that situation if I could do that, bro. Like for real, you know. That was an amazing scene. That just showed his courageousness. And I already knew since it was gonna be Mark Wahlberg, I was like, they're not gonna have this guy on the sidelines in this action movie. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way.
They handpicked. Matter of fact, the director was like, I handpicked Mark Wahlberg. I mean, I think that Michael Bay directed Pain and Gain, and so after Pain and Gain, he was like, yeah, I got to have him in the new Transformers, and it was rightfully so. And when there was a standoff where it was Bumblebee and it was Hound. Now, Hound actually, his character is played by the actor John Goodman. And he was a funny dude, man. He was overweight. He was carrying a cigar. But when he goes in, like, he does not stop. And when you see, like, Mark Wahlberg's character trying to help out as best he can, he was, like, calling out the shots. There was one scene, he's like, there's a grenade, pull the pin. This thing is huge. It's huge grenade. I was like, what is he supposed to do? He's like, throw it. He threw it to him. I was just like, but it was just an entertaining ride, like, all through. I mean, we got everything that they basically kind of promised with the premise of the trailer. Mm-hmm. We got Grimlock
and more.
We got Galvatron, which I didn't even expect. We got Lockdown, a good villain that, like, to me had an edge to him. Like he's a minority. That's all I got to say. He's on some other stuff. And then his ship, that's basically a prison, like Joe said. It was just amazing, man. I mean, the acting was so, but the core characters, which was the professor, which was Mark Wahlberg's character, which was the daughter, and then her boyfriend, those were decent roles, you know what I'm saying? The daughter probably less to me, personally, but for the end of it, like, they all worked together to get what they had to get done and to try to survive as best they could. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this all turns out. But yeah, man. Anything else you can think of you want to talk about in the spoiler? We basically went over everything.
We pretty much went over everything. Ah, yes. Your boy Grimlock. Now, in the trailer, you know what I'm saying, we seen him, you know, the T-Rex form. That's him. But they didn't show when he transformed. You know what I'm saying? In the trailer. In the movie, you actually see him transform. Not only him, but he has that entire squad. There's an entire squad of them. You know what I'm saying? It's Dinobots, you know. When they transform into like their bipedal form, they're compared to Optimus, they are massive. Like, they are freaking huge. And it's just like, it was just amazing, bro. At that moment, you know what I'm saying, Sam could tell you, in theaters, bro, I was tripping. I was in my seat, you know, what? Can't contain myself, you know. It was just, that was a good action movie, man, like, for real.
It really was. I mean, there's going to be a lot of naysayers. I'm getting people on Facebook. I had commented that this is, dare I say, the best one out of the trilogy. Or not the trilogy, but all four of them. But some of my friends are like, they haven't seen it yet. They're like, some people left because it's not anything like the older ones. Or some people are like, well, it's not. Look at all the reviews. I mean, critics are going to judge it on the quality and the acting and what they structuralize to be a good movie. Not necessarily reviewing it as though this is action movie. How do you judge and review an action movie? It has to be boundaries set that you can't go and say, I can't judge over this. When they judge and they critique a movie, that's what they have to go off of all movies, you know? And so, I mean, it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It has a lot of different benefits to it. The thing that I actually enjoyed about it, it wasn't anything like the other ones. That's why I liked it, because with the other ones, it was that is a franchise. That really is a franchise. That was based off of what Shia LaBeouf did. And they might bring him back. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure if they bring back any of those characters. But this is a whole different group of characters. It's not centrally focused on Sam Witwicky as a young age or Bumblebee. This is like taking place years later. It feels like it's years later because it's a more mature kind of role, and there's a lot more mature things that are actually happening. And you don't know that the heroes are gonna win or what their intentions are. And that's the thing.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Like there are certain people that these Autobots, they're not like just the protectors of humans. They feel envious and malice towards humans because of what's been happening, you know? And so they're unpredictable in their actions. Mm-hmm. Now at their core, of course, they're Autobots, but just like if you look at Beast Wars or any of the other ones, there are times where the Autobots turn over to another leaf and they go evil. So this might happen in this franchise. So I'm anticipating a lot of crazy things for this joint, but yeah, I don't have anything more, man.
Yeah, I would say compared to the previous, you know, Transformers movies, that this one is not like it because, like you said, I feel like it has a darker tone and more mature tone. This is like, I perfectly agree because, you know, in the previous ones, you know, Shia LaBeouf's character and, you know, not a lot of human characters are a lot of funny moments.
Yeah.
In this movie, there aren't a lot of funny moments. There are, but they're not even more. You get them more towards the end than the beginning, and it's well, I think it is very realistic because, and I actually enjoyed this more than the previous because I feel like in the previous, you know, the Transformers almost had to babysit the humans, and in this one it wasn't like that at all.
Nah, it wasn't.
Like these guys had to carry their weight or they were going to die
basically.
And I thought that was actually more realistic to me than the first three. You know, it's like it to me kind of like the humans are getting in the way almost in some occasions, not all of them, but some.
Yeah.
But in this one, it was just like, look, we're surviving. Like we have to survive.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, because even at the time, like in this movie, like the humans, we have a bad rep now. You know what I'm saying? Because actually the humans betrayed the Autobots.
They did.
So it's like,
they still are.
We better step up, or, you know what I'm saying? Or, hey, they can just destroy us all or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and close this out. We really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed it.
But it's a more serious tone. You'll notice like one of the funny characters gets killed in the beginning of the movie. Like, what was it, Link or what's his name that was in the original ones? One of the other older Autobots gets killed.
Ratchet.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this serious stuff that's actually happening to good people. And so the stakes are higher. But anyway, without further ado, this is our conclusion and our resolve to the amazing, epic action movie, which was the Transformers: The Age of Extinction. Hopefully y'all go and check it out. If y'all haven't checked it out, I don't know why y'all looking at this. I'm sorry if y'all are looking at this and didn't get the memo that this is a spoiler review. But we really enjoyed it as an action movie. It was a great action movie for the summer. I think that, to me, I think Edge of Tomorrow and this were tied for the best, like, kind of otherworldly kind of feel kind of movies to me. But definitely y'all enjoy it. And please leave your comments below if you like this. Leave a like at the bottom. Please subscribe. I'm going to leave a link actually for Joe's channel at the bottom. So definitely go check out any of his stuff that's coming out soon. But we're out, y'all. We got to save the battery life on this camera because it's about to die. Y'all have a good night.
Deuces.
Good day. Good evening. Later.